So I'm Stephanie Garcia Richard. I'm the New Mexico Commissioner of Public Lands, which means I manage 13 million acres of public state land in New Mexico. Yeah, so I'm just very happy to contribute to this panel this week for the Western Planners Conference, because I feel like there's really an intersection between land managers, public land custodians, and planning work. I really, at the State Land Office where I manage land, we really found that it was important to actually employ a planner, because the decisions we make need to be research-based. We need to sort of have some key insights into what the impact of our development is going to be, and so that's kind of my connection to the planning world. In New Mexico, we have a real trifecta of leadership from the governor, our congressional delegation, and then us at the land office are all kind of rowing in the same direction. We're working on our Energy Transition Act, which is really robust, renewable portfolio standards. We're bringing industries that use our public land, our public resources, really to account for their use of that with our enforcement and accountability program. We're trying to protect our fresh water and watershed resources, but it's really just all of us working in tandem to do that. So I'm going to start with the tool and strength. Because our state is so small in population, we are all sort of intimate. We all have backgrounds with each other. We all overlap. State agencies are not siloed. And so we're able to work on something like a methane capture rulemaking with just everyone contributing to that. And so from the public land perspective, we contributed because we've got a lot of oil and gas on our land. So that's really a strength. Some of our challenges is just the political will sometimes. There are communities throughout our state that are very resistant to change, to transition, and we're trying to bring them along kind of with the economic argument to really transition away from a heavy reliance on extraction, fossil fuels, things like that, but to do so, in a way that doesn't put towns out of business, put people out of jobs. Planners are good forecasters. They can give us a good idea of what an impact of a particular action or development plan is going to be. And so that's kind of my heavy reliance on the planner at the land office is like, if we take option A and continue on business as usual, what will be the impact on our freshwater resources, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line? On the other token, what are some sort of conservation measures we can take to ensure now that we are protecting some of those very scarce resources? So it's absolutely reliant on the planning and the research that's done behind the scenes for sure. I think that every land management office should employ at least a planner, if not, a biologist, a wildland ecologist. We've got forestry experts. All of those people work together. They all bring their expertise together to decide the best course of action. And I would love to see these are large land management institutions. So Arizona has a state land office. Some of our federal land offices really look to the planning aspect of future development. One of the most valuable things that I did was chat with a bunch of planners last night. Some of them retired at the reception. And I found a lot of sort of worst case scenario stories where people were like, yeah, a couple of our recommendations made it into the final plan, but they didn't adopt, the policymakers, the lawmakers, the decision makers didn't adopt every single thing that we recommended. And then there was one particular story about a middle school being built on the end of an airplane runway against all of the recommendations of the city planner. And it just sounded disastrous. And of course, everything that this person, foretold actually came to be. And so it just really hit home. This idea that we employ these folks, we have them create plans, and then we kind of go off in another direction. And there really needs to be a little bit more overlap and intention in implementing plans that are created. If I had a magic wand, I would love for everyone at the federal, state, local, tribal level to be on the same page about our actions regarding the climate in particular, and protecting our natural resources. Number one, and first and foremost, moving away from our heavy reliance on extraction, fossil fuel development. That is, probably the biggest driver of climate change, is our heavy reliance there. And just, we've got alternative technologies for energy development. We've got great wind and solar resources. We just haven't developed them to the same, with the same investment that we did fossil fuels. So that is first and foremost. Obviously, ensuring that we are doing everything we can now regarding pollution, regarding emissions, regarding the state of our natural resources. So our water, our air quality, the land, just ensuring that we're all sort of, and I keep using this metaphor, but all kind of moving in the same direction to ensure that we're holding folks to account. I beat the drum on that every day, and I wish more people were open. I wish more people listened. I wish we could collaborate better. I mean, convincing people to come on board, right? So as long as you can make an economic argument that this particular action is going to increase or improve someone's bottom line, I think that it's human nature. That is the best way to get to someone's heart. And so, I feel like the more that we can be convincing, so IPCC came out with their Code Red report, and it's kind of like it got a few mentions in the press, but that it didn't make that sort of compelling, deep, we gotta act now, argument. It did for folks who are watching, it did for folks who care and are sort of environmentally minded, but for people who have an investment because their paycheck is with an industry that's dying, they're worried about their next job. So that's what I mean. I feel like we just, the economic job creation argument really, we need to get better at making it. So we need a translator. We need someone in the middle, right? To take the technical research that we know is reliable, we know that it's sound, and to somehow translate that into what is the impact? What is that going to mean on our decision making? I really think that at the Land Office, in the past for 100 years, we sort of made leasing decisions very one-off, piecemeal, whatever seemed right in the moment. I think now we are looking more holistically, more of a landscape level approach to development and planning. And I would encourage land managers to do that. I would encourage, obviously, local and state government to do that, because you have a better, it's intentional, and you have some better outcomes on watersheds, habitat, ecosystems.